What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So we have an exclusive go behind the scenes of Sinners with Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan in new featurette. So I am hyped for this film. I would be shocked if you are watching this and you have not heard of this film, Sinners, which comes out in roughly 10 days. April 18th was when it gets its widespread release. This is one I am excited for. I've been excited for this one ever since we got that first teaser, and then we started getting the images, and then we finally got full trailers. I think we've gotten 2 full trailers, and we've gotten several like TV spots as well. And I think this film, along with Nosferatu that came out last year, end of last year, are the 2 most recent films I can think of that have just gotten an abundance of like posters related to the film. So on top of this go behind the scenes, which we're going to watch, I did check the timestamp. It's a little over 2 minutes, so we are going to watch it here on this video. But in this article, as I scanned through it, it looks like they've released another 4 or 5 posters. I think they've released probably a good 20 to 30 different posters for this film, which again, it's probably surpassed Nosferatu, because Nosferatu did an awful lot of posters in the marketing and advertising of that film. But for this one, it seems like they've like really upped the ante, so to speak, on how many posters they're putting out there. Now, of all the ones that have come out, I did have my favorite, but after scanning this article, I think I have my new favorite, which we're going to take a look at here in a second. So let's take a look at these article details real quickly before we jump into the behind the scenes video and see what that's about. Director Ryan Coogler and star Michael B. Jordan take you behind the scenes of Sinners in the new featurette below. Quote, "This is a genre-bending concept and idea that is very personal to Coogler." Jordan says his love of music, of culture, of horror. "Everything I've learned over the last few movies that I've made, I put it all into this," Coogler adds. "I just wanted to deliver something that could really dazzle the audience." We also have 3 new posters for the movie design, and we have the designers here. I'm not even going to try to pronounce names here. I just don't want to offend. So we have the designers there for the posters that we're going to look at. Shot with IMAX film cameras, the period vampire film hits theaters on April 18th. IMAX 70mm early access screenings will take place in New York, Los Angeles, and San Francisco on the 16th. Jordan stars in a dual role as twin brothers Smoke and Stack, trying to leave their troubled lives behind. They return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. So, all right, so let's get down to these new. Okay, we have the video here, like I said, that we're going to take a look at here in a moment. But let's scroll down and look at these posters. So we have this first one here. It has like that paintbrush look to it, almost like a paint aspect to it. And if you look closely here, right in the middle, you see another character here, which almost looks like it could be Michael B. Jordan, but as a vampire, can't really tell. But that's what it almost looks like it could be. Then we have another one here, which I imagine that's one of the brothers standing right here with, in this guitar that's then moving up its way into a candle that's burning. Again, it has that paint look to it as well, almost. And then this one here, which is kind of an image we've seen, this is the 2 brothers. You can clearly see this is both Smoke and Stack. So those are the 3 new posters we got. I will say my new favorite is going to be this one. I love the color contrast. On one side you have the blue, and the other side you have the red up here between the 2 brothers. And again, I love that paintbrush looking aspect to this one. So I would say this is probably my favorite new poster for this film. And again, they've released like 20 or 30 posters thus far. So we have 10 more days before this film officially releases. So I wouldn't be surprised if we were to get a few more. So, all right, so that's the article details. We didn't learn a whole lot. Again, we're going to hopefully learn a little bit more from these 2 individuals when we pull up this video. But we did get a few new posters. Obviously, the film comes out on April 18th. So let's pull up the video and see what additional information they're going to give us.
Hey everyone,
Are you ready for a story like no other?
where everything may not be as it seems.
Head to your local cinema to experience Sinners on the big screen.
But before that, please enjoy the sneak peek.
See you soon.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Ryan Coogler here, and I'm here with my friend and star,
Michael B. Jordan.
You gotta get it popping like fish grease, boy.
Ryan Coogler is a very unique and special person. We've been working together over a decade.
I was working on Creed and both Panthers. I saw him like that same kind of love of the process, of the craft and the work. We both enjoy challenging ourselves and each other. Each time we work together, it feels like the challenge has gotten more and more ambitious.
Fellas must be the owners of this establishment.
And you are?
We hungry as dogs.
Woof, woof.
You boys twins?
Nah, we cousins.
Watching Ryan working with Michael, it was
So I'll say just real quickly, as we're seeing some of these behind the scenes, images, behind the cameras, as far as how they're doing the filming, and seeing some of the new scenes that we're getting to see Michael B. Jordan, not while he's not in character and while he is in character, I think he fully embodies the time period that he's portraying, that he's in. I've said this before. I love time period piece films. And again, just the dress he has, his swagger, how he's talking, how he's carrying himself, it feels like he is in that time period. So on top of this being vampires, a horror film, it being a time period piece, I'm glad that we're seeing that in this film. I wish we would get more horror films that are more time period piece driven, not just modern day. So I that's one of the other reasons I'm really excited to see this film. So, all right, let's get back into it.
quite magical, actually.
There's an energy and a dynamic that they understand each other, and you feel that the minute you see the two of them together.
It's just a role that I thought only Michael could do. It's just somebody who wants to go that extra mile, and Mike's performance at the apex of his professional career.
Open the door, it's me.
It's you?
Of course it's me, open the door.
Smoke. That ain't your brother.
The actor-director relationship, that's something that is truly special.
So that scene right there, which was part of, I think, the original teaser or the original trailer that we got, where Smoke is stopped from letting his brother in. And there is a scene that we did get in the last trailer where it appears when Cornbread was outside trying to get in, they were going to open the door. They eventually do open the door, and Cornbread's trying to convince him that, I'm fine, just let me in. And I think it was the same lady that says to him, you don't realize. And they're like, realize what? That you're dead. And then we see, I don't know if it's Smoke or Stack. In this case, where I can maybe assume it might be Stack, that reaches his hand out or his arm to close the door. And Cornbread grabs his arm, and it appears he does bite him. So I'm wondering if that's where we're then tying back to that scene where we see Stack starting to turn, and then that's why she's saying, "Hey, Smoke, that's not your brother anymore. He's dead." That he's turning. So, which would kind of suck that that one of the brothers is going to turn into a vampire, or maybe even both of them. But it makes sense why one of them would have to turn, because I'm sure it will also play into the story of if one of them does turn, if Stack does get bit and turns, that Smoke would have to kill his own twin brother, which would suck. But ultimately, if that's what he's put in a position to do, he'll probably end up doing it. So
We have a chemistry and bond like nothing I've ever had before. He always seems to break down the most complicated things in the simplest way. He makes it very digestible for the audience and for his cast and crew. This is a genre-bending concept and idea that is very personal to him. His love of music, of culture, of horror.
Everything that I've learned over the last few movies that I've made, I put it all into this. I just wanted to deliver something that could really dazzle the audience.
That's a confidence that I have in our relationship. That's a confidence that I have in him. That dynamic leads to some of my best work.
We're gonna kill every last one of you.
You're gonna find a way out of this, I promise.
So that scene I was mentioning with Cornbread was at the end of that trailer. So you saw him when the door opened, that he reached out to grab his arm. And we did see another scene prior to that they showed us where, again, not knowing which brother it is on the ground. He's trying to crawl away, and he's covered in blood. His shirt's covered in blood. So it looks like he was probably bit, unless something happens right then and there where someone shoots Cornbread and he dies right before he's within an inch of biting his arm. So one thing I also found interesting is, if you didn't notice it at the beginning of the scenes that they were showing us, especially when they were in like this cornfield and they were exchanging weapons and they exchanged a hug. One of them had on a red hat, the other one had on a blue hat, and we've seen those two colors predominantly within the various posters, even the one we looked at today. So I'm wondering if the fact that that's going to somehow play into it, if who's ever wearing the red hat, whether that's Smoke or Stack, if that's an indication that he's a little bit darker, he's a little bit more twisted, a little bit more unhinged, and he might be the one that turns, while the one with the blue hat, which depending on which brother it is, isn't. He's more of the one that has a bit more of a head on his shoulders, more calm, a bit more of a moral standard on taking action. So I am looking forward to this one. I cannot wait to see it. I think it's going to be a really good film. I think it might be one of the best films for horror this year. So it comes out April 18th. So drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know what you think about Sinners and these behind the scenes looks at films. I happen to enjoy them. I think it's always an interesting thing to see what goes behind the scenes and making a film, and just the thought process from the actors, as well as those behind in the seat, the directors and the writers. So again, drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know what you think. And if you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, we'll see you at the next one. Peace.